Good afternoon, everybody. Mark Bazinski here for Tried It For You. Um, if you're not familiar with my website, I am about the prepper lifestyle, shit hits the fan type lifestyle, and preparing for what could potentially come in our future. Uh, I am here to actually show you how to light a fire, the way I light a fire. I like things easy. I don't want to have to sit and spend a lot of time trying to get something going. I want to be able to set something up and get it going as quickly as possible because I don't want to be screwing around with it. So, and if you're in a survival situation, you probably want the same thing. You don't want to have to be screwing around with trying to get all your stuff together and then finding your dry stuff, which is what you got to do anyways. But anyways, cut. Good afternoon, everybody. Mark Bazinski here for Tried It For You. I am in my backyard and I'm going to show you how to do a fire. If you're not familiar with my channel or my website, the idea is being prepared for anything that could potentially happen. More so from a survival standpoint when the shit hits the fan, and generally just being out in the wilderness and making sure that you're able to thrive. Um, what we're all about is teaching you how to learn to live. So there's been many different channels out there that show people how to light a fire. Some of them they go through probably a few dozen types of ways to make fire, and granted, they all will get you to the same result. But I'm about making things much easier because in a survival situation, I want it to be ready to go when I'm ready to go. I don't want to have to screw around with trying to get this thing going as quickly as possible. So this afternoon, I am going to show you the way I do it. But first, I'm going to show you some of the methods that I've tried in the past, and reason why I've come to the to the type that I've developed. I wouldn't say I developed it myself, but I've put everything, all the ingredients together to make things much faster, much easier. It's a it's a way to keep it compact, small, and watertight. So, without further ado, let me show you a couple of things that I've tried in the past. Now, everybody's familiar with a lighter, okay? Butane, okay? We'll get anything going pretty quickly, and very fast. So check this out. So that goes pretty good, but the problem is with one of these here, you got to carry fuel with it because the torch is so volatile. It's like a jet. It'll consume the gas in it fairly quickly. Now, if you're only going out and planning on being out for a few days, then this will probably work for you fairly well. But what happens if you run out of it? Okay, now you got nothing. So now this here on Amazon, I got it for about 20 $20. Now it is not what you think it is. It's actually for creme brulee. Anyways, now I also got these bullets. Okay, they're forever matches. All right. So I actually in previous videos when I was shooting these things last week, I actually filled this thing up. Now I tried messing with it today, and I filled the whole thing up with lighter fluid, and the idea is that the lighter fluid goes into a pad inside of it and it soaks it up. And every time you put it in there, it refreshes the cotton on the tip of the actual match, and then you strike it. All right, so you get that strike. Like I said, I refilled this last week. It will not. All the lighter fluid in it is gone. So you got to top it off. got this at the store for about $2-3. Now, what I don't like about this thing is this. I don't know if you can see this. Let me get a little bit closer for you. All right, so the idea is that you I'm gonna move my hand away from it, so fill it up. Okay. Now, one of the problems with this thing, and it doesn't really need a whole lot of it, but the problem is it leaks down at the bottom here. Okay, while it's filling up, and that's no good, because if it's sitting on a keychain and you put it on you, now you got lighter fluid all over you. Okay, but now let me show you this. So put it inside here. Okay, you get it nice and soaked up, and then you get yourself a nice good strike, maybe. Maybe. Don't make a liar out of me. Let me add a little bit more in here. That's the problem with these things. Granted, they work pretty good. Okay, now that's not really the way for it, but I'm trying to prove a point here. They're not very good. I hate these things. All right, so now I got a light. All right, now the wind's blowing pretty good, and it's taking off. And again, it'll light. Well, you probably can't see that. Let's bring this down a little bit. Okay, so it's lit. All right, and it'll work when you need it in a pinch. Okay, and when you're done with it, you can just extinguish it like that. Well, that didn't work out so well. All right, so I am not a fan of these things for that very reason. All right, so like I said, that's great if you're only going to be out for a few days. Now, one thing that I really do like is that. Okay, now it's rechargeable. So if you've got yourself a solar power bank that's got the solar panel right onto it, and you can recharge this thing, and it puts a little plasma on it, so, and it'll actually get that going pretty good. Okay, so, but that's not ideal either, but it's easy to carry around with you. It's small, it's compact. All you need to do is be able to recharge it, provided you got the cable with it. Now, lots of people, they use a flint and steel. All right, so all of this is called magnesium. Magnesium readily burns. It burns very quickly, very hot. And then on the other end of it, it's got a flint for striking, so you get your spark. Okay, it comes with this scraper. See, it's serrated on the ends of it. So the idea is what you need to do is, back up a little bit, is you take this with a little bit of kindling, okay, and you want this stuff to be as dry as you possibly can get it. Sorry, I keep hearing noises behind me. So, anyways, cut. All right, so anyways, we've got some dry kindling here. It's grass, okay? Dried grass burns very quickly, very easily. So when you get it ignited, so that you've got yourself a little bit of flame, and you can start adding kindling to it, a little bit bigger stuff. And that is anything that's small. And what you want is when you're gathering this stuff up, you want to hear that crack, okay? When you hear that crack, that means the the wood is dry and it's ripe for taking off. So I've gathered a whole bunch of stuff right here. It's ready to go. Okay, I've got some more grass. Okay, and my idea is you want to keep feeding this thing. But first, I want to show you the steel and the magnesium. Idea here is you got your dried material, and then you got to scrape enough of this stuff off so that you can get yourself a good strike on it, and it'll take off. So let's do that. Now, I've been doing this for about a minute now, and I do not have a lot of material here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my knife. And if you're out camping, out hiking or whatnot, you're going to have one of these with you anyways. It just makes sense to have something like that. So this will make this go a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. Problem with this is that there's such small flakes that the wind catches a hold of it, it'll blow it around. So now I've got magnesium all over the place here. I'm not getting it where I need it. Now I've been doing this with this piece here because you can see it's kind of worn down quite a bit for several weeks now, trying to get a fire to light with something like this. Okay, and I have not acquired the skill to get it done. So each time I try and do one of these videos, I try to use this, see if I can do it. The best way to learn something is to keep trying and trying until you actually get it. So I just keep on scraping until I get what I feel like I've got enough. Alright, now I want to show you something real quick. Here. So I've got quite a bit of material in the area, and we're going to see if we can light this thing. Cut. Okay, so now I've done quite a bit of this material onto my kindling here, and I wanted to give you an idea what it is that we've got here. Okay, now there's quite a bit of material there, right? So cut. Damn it. Okay, so you saw how much material I had sitting right there. Now we're going to try and light this thing. So, again, you can use the scraper. The scraper does really well when creating. But I like using my knife. Gets me a better hold on it, and I can strike it pretty quickly without worrying about it. So now we got it going. All right, so we add a little bit more. All right, well, that didn't take off very well. All right, I still got material sitting down in there, and I am still not being able to get a fire going. It started going pretty good there for a second, but it died out pretty quick, which is why I don't like that method. Let's see if I give it a couple more tries. All right, it just doesn't seem like it wants to go. So one of the things, because of this, I needed to find an easier way to start a fire quickly. So you can buy shavings of magnesium already cut up into different shavings. It's actually drilled up magnesium that's left over from some kind of casting or drilling of some sort. And they bottle it up, bucket it up, and they get rid of it. They sell it because it's still got some use to it. Because like I said, magnesium burns quick and hot. And so I bought a bucket of it, about a pint of it, and it's about yay big. This thing cost me about 10 bucks on Amazon. And I've barely opened the container itself, and I've got about 50 of these little containers that I put together left, and barely even made a dent in the bucket already because it's such fine material. But one of the things that I also did with this is I bought these camera cases These little film cases. People my age remember back in the day, we would have buy film and it would come in these little cases. Now, they work pretty good as pillboxes and for keeping things waterproof. But that's something else that I did with this is I've added petroleum jelly and cotton ball. Okay, all of this stuff is great fuel. Okay, so let me get some stuff together here real quick. So I've got my kindling, my dried up grass. I've got petroleum jelly right on the end of it, and it's got magnesium as well. So all of this is my starter fuel. There's a little stick here, and we're going to put that right down inside there. Okay. And then we've got filled up with magnesium and more cotton balls. And this is a lot. Okay. You saw how long it took me to get that very little bit of magnesium out of there. Okay. Look at this. This stuff, this is a lot of magnesium. Okay, this is gonna get our fire nice and hot and quickly. Okay. I'll put the material there. We'll close this up. Alright, and like if you read my blog, you would know that you need dried material, you need kindling, and some bigger stuff. So as your fire continues to build, it'll build a nice coal base underneath of it, and as you've got that, you can continue to add material to it. The drier the better. You need 3 things to maintain a fire, or to have a fire. You've got to have fuel, which is what we've got. You've got to have heat, which we're going to make, and you have to have oxygen. Okay, without one of those 3 things, you don't have fire whatsoever. So now I've got all my magnesium, got all my fuel on here, so I've got things ready here, and I got some small kindling here. Okay, you hear that? You want that snap. Okay, so now let me show you how easy this thing's gonna light. Okay, look at that. Got a nice big fire going already. Okay, now we can start adding some more of our smaller stuff. Gotta keep things nice and warm, nice and hot. Keep adding the dry stuff. Now, I've told you before, you got to keep oxygen into this thing. So you can sit here and blow on it and see how it flares right up. Or you can get one of these, again, on Amazon or survivalfrog.com. And it comes with, it's called PSK Kook, okay? And it comes in a little, nice little pouch and comes with 2 tubes, okay? One's a small tube, okay? It extends so that you can keep it in your pocket and you can blow into it. Now, you can blow too hard and you can actually blow it out, okay? You don't want to do that either. Then you got a longer one, but this keeps your face out of the fire. Okay, works pretty good. Okay, that'll help keep your oxygen into the fire. All right, we're going to continue to add more here. Okay, smaller the better, so that you get your coal base going. Okay. So I got some dried stuff. I'm gonna add right on top of it. Might not be ready for this, but we're going to put some in there anyways. Some more break it up nice and small. Cut. Okay, so now you see how this has gotten pretty good. So we're still trying to build our coal base here. Our hot coals. Now once you've got yourself a good fire going, you got some nice big stuff on there, okay? What it does is it continues to provide fuel to the stuff on top, on bottom of it, so that you maintain a heat. If you've got your coals, you got heat, you got oxygen, if this were to go out, then you'd be able to bring it back up fairly quickly, okay? By just adding more dry kindling to it. So we're going to continue to build this up, and we're going to have ourselves a nice little fire. Cut. God bless it. Okay, so now what I've done here is I've got 4 logs that I've built into a teepee. So what's going to happen here is as this fire continues to build up, I got to keep adding to it, okay? It's going to start burning these other logs. It's going to try and, as this dries out, this fire is going to continue to burn the logs so that, and then it'll, as it dries out, it will continue to build that fire up. Now, get out of the smoke. So it's got a pretty good base going so far. So, but we want to keep adding to it. Still using the small stuff, okay? Until we can actually get these to start taking off. I can use my straw. And as the fire continues, what's going to happen is the stuff that's not actually in the fire is going to dry off and break off. Those are completely dry. You can pull those off to the from the edge there and just add them right back into it. You want to put small ones, bigger ones, small ones. So what's going to happen is the small ones, as they dry out, they burn faster, and it'll dry out the bigger ones until we can get these logs going. It's a little bit wet. Okay, got some more dried stuff right here. This is the main reason why you need to gather everything that you need to keep your fire going. Because if you run out and you don't have a good coal base on this thing, you're going to end up starting all over again. And in the survival situation, you don't want to have to start all over again. Now you can see the log is starting to smoke here. That means it's starting to get hot. See if we can get this going on the other side here. And as you can see, I'm building this thing up into like a teepee. So the idea is that you still got enough surface area to allow oxygen to get inside of it. Cut. Okay, so one of the things that we are trying to learn here is getting this thing going quickly and rapidly and hot, because we're in a survival situation here. Now, yes, you're going to tell me and say, no, you're in the back of your yard, you're okay. But we've got this thing going really well now, and we want to get it hot. We want to get it so that we can sustain this thing without any issues. Okay, so we're going to build this thing up a little bit quicker. Now, understand something. You are responsible for the fire that you created, wherever you are at. You build something so big that you can't keep it under control, this is on you. Do not make it any bigger than you need it to be. Okay, we're only trying to cook food, trying to stay warm, and keep predators away from us, and possibly signaling for somebody to help us out. So do not build this thing any bigger than you need to. So, but I'm gonna build this thing up because I'm in a controlled situation. And last week we had major snow come down where it tore down a bunch of trees and branches on my yard. So I need to get rid of some of it. So I'm going to build this thing up a little bit bigger than what I would normally do. All right, here we go. Cut. Okay, cut. All right, now you can see that this thing is starting to go pretty good. Um, the drier the material that you put in there, the faster it's going to take off. If you put leaves in there, you need to be careful. Leaves will catch on fire, they will smolder, they'll be red hot, but the problem is the wind will take them to some place where you could no longer control that fire. So be careful on what you're planning on doing with this thing. Now it's getting a little bit bigger. We're going to step back a little bit and allow this thing to grow. So at this point, this fire is pretty much self-sustaining. It's just a matter of keeping it going. With the logs that I currently have on there now, this thing will last for probably about 20-30 minutes. Maybe longer. It'll stay hot. But we want to build ourselves a little fire. So here we go. These types of greens here, they take off very, very quickly. So you have to be careful. See what I mean? They take off very, very quickly. So one of the things you have to be careful of is the area around you. That way you don't catch anything else on fire that you can't control. This will make things very, very hot, very, very quickly. And I can be able to pretty much do whatever I want with this thing. See how all this dried material takes off? Now you can keep this thing going very, very easily. Cut. Okay, so now that I've shown you the fire that I've created and the tools at which it's cut. Okay, so now I've shown you the different tools that I use to make a fire. You can see how quickly a fire can get out of control. You see how easy the items that I used were difficult, and the one that I developed, it's nothing really hard. I've got another video. I'll show you how to make these things up. For about several hundred of those things, you're looking at spending maybe $40 for it versus having to try and figure it out on your own. You can, or you can buy a bunch of matches and carry them on yourself and then hope that you can get something lit, or you can make these things yourself. But anyways, thanks for watching, and if you have any comments to say, please put them down below. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for more notifications. I will be doing other ones like this in the future. So be safe out there, and we'll see you outside. Have a great day.